Because what happens is, you know you're really in it when you're able to nourish yourself by doing what feels right to you. You're able to charge your batteries, but you're also able to serve the world, serve humanity, serve the planet without having to bend yourself out of shape like a pretzel and discharge your batteries. So here's where you're in imbalance. It's when the work you do is discharging your batteries to the point of being drained, so that you have to spend your time trying to figure out all the different ways to recharge your batteries so that you can spend another day doing what you hate to do, which discharges your batteries. That makes no sense to me whatsoever. You need to do work that actually charges your batteries and supports you in continuing to do this every single day. So I hope that was helpful, and let's go into another question.
Aki, and I apologize if I pronounced their name wrong, says, how can we know if we're on the right path?
So you know, was that the full question?
Yes, it's how do one can know if he is on right path?
Okay, got it. So how do you know if you're on the right path? You know you're on the right path when your batteries are not getting drained all the time. When you don't feel conflicted inside, that's when you know you're on the right path. When you feel that what you're doing, when you feel good, when you feel buzzed at the end of the day, at the end of a day of doing whatever it is you do, when you go to bed and you feel good about yourself, that's how you know when you're on the right path. Now, sometimes, even when you're on the right path, you do get challenges, but those challenges are for your own growth. So there are two types of challenges. There's probably more, but I'm going to talk about two types of challenges. The one type of challenge is when you are trying to be what everybody else wants you to be. When you're trying to please everyone and you're trying to be what everyone else wants you to be, you're living life from the outside in, not the inside out. So in other words, you're taking your information from the outside and then you're trying to meet all the expectations on the outside, and you warp yourself all out of shape, and you start to live a life that's not your life. You start to live a life that you think everyone else wants you to live, and you start to become what you think everyone else wants you to be. Then when you meet challenges, they're actually not your challenges. They are the challenges of the people you are trying to be, or the expectations you're trying to meet. And that's how we get really stressed. And that's how we get depressed. It's when we're living a life that's not ours. That can be really depressing because we don't know a way out, because this life is not the one that we chose to live when we came into the world. So when you are not feeling all those things that I told you, when every day you're feeling your batteries are charging, when you're doing, like I feel that right now, doing this Facebook Live with you, I love doing it. I feel my batteries are charging. I love writing the book I'm writing. And by the way, the Hollywood movie of my story is getting made. That charges my batteries. So when things are happening, synchronicities are falling into place, things are going in your life that are aligned with who you are, with who you want to be, then you know that, yes, I am aligned. I am being who I'm supposed to be. That's really the best way I can think of. And what I'll do is I'll also think more on your question, Aki. And if I come up with any more answers, I will be addressing them in future issues. Because it's a great question, that how do we know when we're aligned? And at this point, the best answer I can think of is when your batteries are not constantly being discharged, when you're not constantly feeling drained, and when you're feeling upbeat more, and when you're happy in yourself and in your work. So thank you.
Lynetta just says, I can feel people inside my body as though it's me. There is no distinction. I believe it's being empathetic.
Yes, it is.
Also part of my emotional intelligence. I had to be able to read my parents and my environments to keep safe. Survival instincts.
Yes.
I have so many voices inside me. I don't know who is me within all the voices in my mind.
That is actually not uncommon, what you're going through, Lynetta, because it's survival instincts. For me, survival instincts was being aware of what everybody wanted me to be, this all kicks in. Even being an empath, I think all of us are born empaths, but our survival instincts kick in and shapes us. And so some of us grow up to continue to absorb everybody's emotions. And some of us, maybe we had a different kind of childhood where we create more layers between us and other people. Like if you grew up maybe not trusting the people closest to you. So we grow up with layers between us and them. And so it protects us. So different people have accumulated different layers depending on what they needed to do as babies and as children to survive. That's what I believe. I truly believe that every single one of us is born perfect. Every single one of us is born with these acute sensory abilities to be able to sense our parents and when they're around, and to be able to sense our way through the world. And that is part of our survival as well. But if we are getting too much negative input, we then build this really strong filter to filter it out. And so that gives some people the appearance of being insensitive as they grow older. But actually, it's just a layer. Underneath, I really believe that all of us are empaths. So in answer to your question, it was Lynetta, right? In answer to your question, I really do feel you need more alone time. You need to spend more time alone, more time in nature. Perhaps you even need to connect with a pet or newborn babies. You need to reconnect with purer energies. Get back in touch with who you truly are, your inner self, your inner child, whatever you want to call it. Some people cringe from some of these terms and some people relate to them. So to me, it doesn't matter what terms you use, but you need to get back to the Lynette, the child who was born into this world with hopes and desires and intentions. So for you, I really would suggest more time alone. I would suggest going on an information detox or an information fast, which means really limiting your time on social media. You know, for people who are super empathetic, who are super open to emotions of others, even social media can be pretty overwhelming. It can be pretty harmful. I limit my time on social media because I actually really get affected by many of the negative comments that I don't mean just to me. In fact, thank God, I'm quite blessed that I don't get a lot of negative comments, but and also I have really great social media and coordinators and administrators who try to limit the number of nasty comments. And having said that, it doesn't bother me when people disagree with me. I am truly talking about the mean comments. There is no reason for mean comments, and there's no need for it. There's no room for it. And so my administrators have no tolerance for that. So anyway, I'm talking about when I look on other people's Facebook pages and other public figures, and if whenever anyone dares to take a stand on something, some of the mean comments can be really harsh. And for people who are super empathetic, I know I'm digressing, but I have a point here. For people who are super empathetic, I would truly say limit your time on social media. I really would. I would highly suggest it, highly recommend it. Go back to reading. You know, I don't even use my iPad anymore for reading ebooks, and the reason is because when I'm holding an iPad, there's always this temptation to go onto social media and to go back online and go on the internet. I actually prefer. I've gone back to ordering proper books when I read. So if I'm gonna read something, excuse me, I don't use my digital device anymore. I actually read it on books. So really, that's the best thing I can suggest for you, because I actually hear you. I get you. When people write to me, and tell me what they're going through, it can be sometimes the things I read and hear, my heart truly goes out to them. But I always have to remember I need to take time out so that I can do what I do and be who I am and bring myself into the world. Because remember, if you allow yourself to drown in the problems of others, you then actually become part of the problem and not part of the solution. If you can actually keep yourself filled with light, if you can keep yourself filled with joy, if you can find the humor in situations, if you can find the light, if you can find the love, and this is the most important part, if you can stay in the place of joy and find the love, if you can still find the love in even the worst situations, that you take yourself wherever you go. And so you will take the love wherever you go. And that is the most important thing. To me, love is the solution to every single problem in the world. And I feel that for each of us, each and every single one of us, when we open our mouths, when we comment on social media, when we speak, we should always remind ourselves, am I bringing love into this world? Am I driven by love? Or am I driven by fear, anger, hatred, division? Just ask yourself that one question. And as long as no matter what you say, no matter what you write, no matter what you do, no matter who you are, if it comes from the place of love within you, you're okay. You're truly okay. So thank you so much for tuning in. In fact, do we have any final questions? One more?
One more question, which has to be plugged in here.
Okay.
It's from Monica, and it's, Anita, burning question. I know that you saw many people in the other realm, but did you see animals? Will I see my doggies? Is Cosmo still with you?
Yes, he
If
is.
not, where is he? Thank you. This is something I wanted to ask you on the cruise, but I wasn't able to.
Aw, yes, you will be with the spirits of your animals again. You so will. Our animals, and I'm going slightly off topic here, but I know that in a lot of cultures and religions where they believe in reincarnation, and they feel that if you were to reincarnate as an animal, it's a step down. It's like, oh my gosh, you've got bad karma, you're going to reincarnate as an animal. So here's what I'm going to tell you. I actually believe the opposite. I actually believe animals are more evolved than us. Animals are actually, they guide us. They are our angels. They are so pure. They don't have those judgments and those layers of filters and the greed and all the things that we accumulate when we're in this life. So animals are not only there, but they are in full force. They are the ones guiding us. They are the ones who look after us even now. I still feel Cosmo, and even though they are not in the physical biology of an animal, their spirit, their soul lives forever, and they are so pure and so beautiful, and they are still with you. So thank you, Monica, for that question. And if I had emojis, I'd be flashing them up right now on the screen, because I love you all. I love your emojis. I love your questions. And again, I want to say I'm so sorry to the people whose questions I haven't got to. I will read them. I will try and address them at a future Facebook Live. Please bear with me. I try to get to as many of you as I can. 100%, it's not personal. I love every single one of you who watches, who listens, who posts, and even the ones who don't. I love you whether you agree with me or not, because you're human, you're an essence, you have pure consciousness, you have a purpose, and for that reason only, I love you. Thank you. And I will be back really soon, maybe in less than a week. Thank you, love you, and see you soon. Bye.